Hello viewers and welcome back to the EKS here for the 2024 season finale at Three Sisters in Wigan. A track that is used both for go-karts, both for cars and for motorbikes as well. The second split one race of the day is about to get underway and Barry Lakes is on pole position. Lewis Jolley set a sensational lap in the first race. He is in second place with Tommy Lee and Karlis Elmanis, row 2 of the grid. A huge moment for Karlis' championship hopes. Chris Phillips and Ian Wilson are row 3 of the grid with Jamie Chase and Nathan Williams on row 4. Row 5 is made up of Callum Benslow and John Paragon, just 5 tenths all the way through our top 10. Adrian Soroso and the other championship contender Ollie Smith make up row 6. Ollie's got a lot of work to do to keep that championship fight alive. Luca Nick is in 13th position with Jonathan Allen joining him on row 7. Our split 2 race 1 winner Lewis Highland is in 15th spot. So the second race of split 1 about to get underway, and this one should be a cracker. The rain has been threatening and the rain has started to fall as well, which means that this is unknown territory for the drivers. Lewis Jolley on second place on the grid as we get underway is going to try and jump into first position on the outside line as Barry Lakes tries to hold on to the lead of the race, but Lewis has got the run on the inside line. As I said, unknown territory, everyone very cautious into this part of the track as the rain is starting to come down. Lewis Jolley takes the lead of the race. John Paragon just loses a position to Ollie Smith as everyone is all over the shop through into the right-hander as they head onto the Conrod Straight. You can see the lack of grip that is existing for all of these drivers. Luca Nick looking to gain a position as well. He goes down the inside line but then loses the position himself. So everyone just trying to find a way through or right on board with Lewis Jolley at the moment as everyone guesses where their braking point is into turn at number 6, and Lewis Jolley guesses wrong. He's gone all the way off the circuit onto the car racing track, as so does John Paragon as well. It's a couple of drivers off as we've got spinners almost everywhere. John Paragon just about avoids 3 wide briefly between that's Jamie Chase, Callum Bendilo and one of the driver. Adrian Soroso is now Luca Nick goes down the inside line. It's a bit of oversteer for Adrian as John Paragon goes off as well. Everyone's going off, Luke.
Ian Wilson, Lewis Jolley and John Paragon have all crashed out on this race, and this has been absolute chaos on lap 1 as they come across start finish line. Track local Tommy Lee though, he gets broken clear. He is the second in the lead ahead of Karlis Elmanis. You can see riding on board with Luca Nick here. There are carts everywhere. No one knows what to do because no one's been around here before in the wet. It's a complete guessing game, working out on the fly and copy what everyone else is doing. As Luca Nick now is 3 abreast with Jamie Chase and Adrian Petroso coming out of Luna Bend. It is Jamie Chase who got through out of 3 of those as these 3 battled it out, I believe, for 6th position as they are now 3 abreast once more going down the Conrod Straight. Jamie Chase up the inside of Callum Bendilo, who's going to get to the wet line on the outside. It is Jamie Chase. Adrian gets through on Callum Bendilo too. These guys come across each other so often in the EKS and they are together once more in this battle now for P5. Luca Nick as well in on the action. All of these drivers, remember, in the battle for P3 in the championship today as Luca Nick on the inside of the 2 of them. Has he managed to make that one work? I think he has. There was a bit of contact on the exit there as the lines crossed over, but Luca Nick now, what a move that was up the inside of Callum Bendilo and Adrian Perez, but he is off. Just as soon as he gets through them, he is off the circuit, and Callum Bendilo back through now at the inside of Adrian Perez, and Callum now back in to P6. These positions are chopping and changing quicker than we can say, but it's Tommy Lee now in the lead of the race, set the fastest out of the race as well. He is through and into a big lead of 1.5 seconds. And Nathan Williams, where's he just come from? He is carving through these drivers, just going through on Luca Nick, going through turn 3 and now through on Adrian Perez going through turn number 4, but Adrian's got the run on him going down the Converse Straight around the outside of him, and Adrian now back through into P9.
So we don't have a fantastic view of it, but Tommy Lee is in the lead of the race ahead of Barry Lakes, Karlis Elmanis in 3rd, Ollie Smith, Jonathan Allen and Jamie Chase, your top 6. Then we join this battle with Luca Nick, Callum Benslow and co. all scrapping along through now into the final couple of corners of the racetrack. As we see on the static camera, everyone's streaming through. It's actually very close between Tommy Lee, Barry Lakes and Karlis Elmanis. Ollie Smith then in 4th position. Luca Nick has fallen down positions on that previous lap as we saw, and now continues to try and battle. It's just ahead of Luca Nick is Nathan Williams, then Adam Prefessor. So ahead of that, Callum Bendilo and Jamie Chase still scrap along, but not really very effectively at the moment as Adrian has to go a little bit defensive. I say defensive, he's more going wide than anything, and now goes wide again as down to the inside line. Isn't the wet line through turn number 3, but goes Nathan Williams, and ahead of Adrian Perez-Soroso. Luca Nick, all he can do is watch and learn with the lines that these guys ahead of him are taking as Adrian goes back to the inside line. The problem is the inside hasn't got a lot of grip with the amount of rubber that's been laid down throughout the course of the day, and Adrian has just found that out as off the racetrack. To the left-hand side goes Callum Bengelo. He's got to rejoin very, very awkwardly. Luca Nick is able to find a way through. Adrian went wide himself there. You can see that inside line offering absolutely no grip, but Luca Nick makes his way into 9th position, and that is Callum Bengelo, not quite out of the race, but certainly out of contention for now.
Ollie Smith's just gone wide as well, coming through the final corner, and Jamie Sherman Chase is through. So good move that was by Jamie Sherman Chase up into P5. Unlucky there for Callum Bengelo, a couple of corners to go. He just went in deep into turn 6, went flying over the valley, and he's falling down the order as now Ollie Smith just got overtaken there by Nathan Williams, got the cutback on him though, and he's back up the inside of Nathan Williams coming out of turn number 3. Now Nathan Williams back through again. These two keep undercutting one another. It's a great drive this is, by the way, by Nathan Williams. Is not very familiar with this circuit. Adrian Perez, where have you just come from, my friend? That was a great move there by Adrian going through Luna Bend. Aim for the inside line. There might not be much grip there, but you do get the quicker line to the apex of the corner. And Adrian now, he's through as Luca Nick's trying to get through on Ollie Smith here. This has not been a good lap and a bit for Ollie Smith here as Luca Nick goes through on the inside. Ollie getting the cut back on him though, trying to hold on to P8 for the time being. So remember, there is a championship on the line here today. Karlis Elmanis, he's our championship leader coming in to this race. It's Ollie Smith challenging for second place, or for first place, sorry, in the championship. He's currently second in the championship. This is not great stuff though for Ollie for his championship hopes. He's got Luca Nick up his inside once more, going through turn number 1, still side by side as they get to turn 2. Ollie Smith held on to 8th place for the time being.
Yeah, and though we're not really looking at the lap times at the moment, Tommy Lee is on pole for that next race, 60 seconds, his best lap. Luca Nick now under pressure from Callum Bengelo, who's come back into this after his off earlier on. Now Luca to the inside line into turn number 3, I believe that is, unless I'm completely wrong where we are on the circuit. I was completely correct as we head to the Conrod Straight. Now Callum back to the inside line as Luca doesn't get the best exit. The slippery circuit, it's so greasy. As you can see, Ollie Smith has flown further down the road. Lewis Jolley is also in a battle of his own. He's at the back of this train. You can barely see it. Luca and Callum continue to scrap along as he tries to go to the outside line. Ollie Smith now looking to make a move. This is on Nathan Williams, I believe. To the inside line goes Ollie Smith into the final corner. He just about collects it up. Does he stay ahead though is the question. I think the answer is yes, he does.
Yeah, great recovery this is from Ollie. Dropped back a few laps ago like we were saying, but now he's coming back through the field as he's got through then on Nathan Williams. He's back up to 7th position with Adrian Perez right behind him, but as I say that, Nathan Williams goes around the outside of Ollie Smith there. That is the wet line for you. Ollie Smith was stuck on the inside on the slippery stuff, and Nathan Williams, he's got back past. As we were just saying as well, Lewis Jolley is currently running in a 12th position. He's at the back of this train of cars, so the whole train of them going from 5th place all the way down to 14th position, and Lewis Jolley has a good view here of Lewis Highland right in front of him, and Chris Phillips as well, as they come in now with a few minutes left of this race. So just under a third of this race, of this race to go. Is now go into turn number 6. Now, Nathan Williams look at the inside of Adrian Perez going through turn 6. Ollie Smith now trying to capitalise on that and get through. He's got the outside for the left king. Now makes that the inside for the final corner of the circuit. Look at that though. That's Callum Bengelo. Where's he just come from? He's just gone flying past a lot of them around the outside. Now he's trying to get the cut back on them all. This is absolute chaos in this race. What a move that was though by Callum Bengelo. He's through on the boat. Now Luca Nick trying to get back in on the action again as he goes around the outside of Nathan Williams. He should have more grip by going around the outside. That though becomes the inside for turn number 2, where we've already seen there is less grip though, but Luca Nick muscles his way through there as Lewis Jolley's back in on the action as well. Luca Nick still alongside Nathan Williams as they go through turn 3. Now that becomes the inside for turn 4. Nathan Williams though, he's up the inside. Adrian Perez, we thought he was getting overtaken there by Luca Nick, but in fact he's got through on Adrian there, and Nathan Williams now, he's up in 2P7.
Lewis Jolley is on the outside line as he on his inside line has Luca Nick. It's Adrian Perez just ahead. Luca tries to go through on both of them. Is there that grip on the inside line now? Looks like there is. Luca Nick with a very brave move, but Lewis Jolley seizes the opportunity and goes past both of them. Now putting pressure on Nathan Williams down the inside line into the final corner, but isn't quite able to do so. The field stream across the line as we've not got long left in this race at all now. Just about 4 minutes or so left to go. Luca watches that battle ahead of him as Lewis Jolley is now able to squeeze past Nathan Williams into 7th position. Callum Bendelo is in 6th. Jamie Sherman-Chase pretty comfortable in 5th as it stands. Remember, the senior class is all going to be decided at the end of the day. Now Adrian goes down the inside of Nathan Williams once again. Luca watching this unfold right in front of him. It's Nathan's able to hold on, but is on the inside, slippier line. That won't give him the best exit onto the Conrod Straight. Will give Adrian Perez the opportunity to get himself back through. Meanwhile, Ollie Smith in the background is battling along as well, as he's just on the inside of Luke and Nick, who looks over his shoulder side by side between Adrian Perez. This is going to be 3 wide. Luca down the inside of both of them. There he goes, gets himself past Adrian Perez, but he makes contact. Now Ollie Smith goes through on the inside line and gets through, but Adrian still tries to defend. I think Ollie's just about going to have the grip in this one to get himself through. Luca, that almost ended in tears.
Yeah, that was a good overtaking opportunity there by Luke Nick. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make it work there. Can I just say, Tommy Lee, he's in this lead of this race by 10.5 seconds, and he is the fastest driver on this circuit by a mile. What a drive this is by Tommy Lee. He has left everyone else standing. Unfortunately, we've got no footage of his remarkable drive out of the lead of this race, but he is doing a fantastic job. By the way, Lewis Jolley, he was going around the car racing circuit earlier in this race. He's recovered now, all the way back up to 7th position. He's on the back now of Callum Bendelo as they go around the common straight. He's got the drive here coming out of Luna Bend. Can he pull this one off? He's got the outside line for turn 6, so he should have more grip as he hangs it around the outside of Callum Bendelo, and Lewis Jolley is through and he's up in 2P6.
Yeah, very good move from Lewis Jolley. No complaints there. Luca is on the inside of Adrian Perez, but is crowded out very, very briefly and loses out on the position. Still side by side. Lewis Jolley trying to brave it all the way around the outside line as our leader crosses the line to set a 57.5. So actually that is 57.3. So the lap times coming down rapidly here in this one as the track starts to dry out. By my reckoning, this should be the final lap of the race. However, we will wait and see. It'll be very interesting to see if we do squeeze one more. Keep an eye on whether that last lap board has or will get shown. Luke and Nick all over the back, and actually losing out on a position. Ian Wilson is able to squeeze his way through, Luke.
Yeah, Ian Wilson spun out on lap 1 and going through turn number 6, but he's recovered as well back through the field. He's back up in 12th position. We've also got John Paragon at the back of the field. He's just set the first lap of the race. He's just at 55.7. He's just flowing past Lewis Highland here. He's just waving him through there. I think Lewis realises how quick John is. Didn't bother to put up a fight there. And John Paragon, he's through and back up into 14th place. John Paragon's another driver who went off on lap 1. He went off at the final corner, so he's trying to come back through the field as well as Luke. And Nick goes to the inside of Ian Wilson, trying to get straight back through on him, going through Joe Donut corner, and he is back past, but Ian Wilson here's got the undercut here on Luke Nick, and Ian Wilson back now in 11th position. So it's Tommy Lee who leads as we come into the final lap of the race. Karlis Elmanis, by the way, never been here before. He is flying in this race, and he's just got through on Barry Lakes, outshot, and he is through into 2nd position. Barry Lakes now running in pink door. Jonathan Allen, by the way, making a fantastic debut today here in the EKS. He's running now up in 4th position. Jamie Sherman-Chase managed to break away from the pack of cars behind, and he's now up in 2P5, and Lewis Jolley's actually just set the first step of the race with 54.0, so this track very much is drying up, and Lewis Jolley is flying high now up in P6.
Yeah, can say I completely miscounted at the top of the field. It is now the last lap board in the air, so checkered flag will greet Tommy Lee at the end of this one, barring anything sensational. 12 laps completed in the race, and we've still got to sort out this battle all the way down into 12th position. Barry Lakes in 4th at the moment. Barry Lakes in 3rd, Jonathan Allen in 4th, Jamie Sherman-Chase in 5th. Lewis Jolley with the fastest lap of the race. He's got himself ahead of Callum Bendelo and is flying. The main battle to keep an eye on is Luke and Nick all the way down in 12th position. Ian Wilson and Adrian Perez are all battling with him, and this will sort out at that final top 10 spot. Adrian having to defend it for the time being. John Paragon similarly just behind is trying to get involved with Chris Phillips, and Lewis Highland will not be too far off the back of these drivers. We can see the checkered flag will be in the air very briefly. Tommy Lee makes his way across the line. He takes checkered and victory as well here in the second race at Three Sisters for our split one drivers. John Paragon meanwhile trying to sort it all out in the background. We'll keep an eye as Karlis Elmanis and Barry Lakes make their way across the line, 2nd and 3rd. A great dagger into Ollie Smith's championship hopes. Karlis Elmanis almost there, as through into the line go the rest of the drivers. Nathan Williams ahead of Adrian Perez, Ian Wilson and Luca Nick, but Luca Nick gets ahead of Ian Wilson on that final lap.
Tommy Lee ended up taking a fantastic victory in that race, winning by 10.5 seconds ahead of our championship leader, Karlis Elmanis. Karlis ended up coming home in P2, surrounded by track locals. He beat Barry Lakes by 0.6 of a second, with Jonathan Allen then another 0.6 behind in P4. Jamie Sherman Chase ended up coming home in P5. That will help his chances of finishing third in the championship today. And Lewis Jolley recovered all the way back up to P6, having gone flying up Penrith Climb on lap 1 of the race. Callum Bendelow ended up coming home in P7 ahead of his teammate Ollie Smith, whilst Nathan Williams finished in 9th place ahead of Adrian Perez-Charozo, and then Luca Nick ended up coming home in P11. He just pipped Ian Wilson to the finish line, beating him by 0.2 of a second, with then Chris Phillips another 0.2 behind in 13th place, and John Paragon recovered back through the field as well to finish just 0.2 behind Chris Phillips in 14th position. Lewis Highland unfortunately did not finish the race. He retired with a couple of laps to go, but we can head now down to the pit lane where Yusuf Bin Sahal is with Karlis Elmanis, Barry Lakes and Jonathan Allen.
Karlis, we're going to keep this short, but a good race from you, clambering back up the field after a difficult race 1.
Wow, sorry, what was the question?
A good race for you after a difficult qualifying session and race 1.
Yes, quali wasn't great, not particularly brilliant. Had to swap first one. Fairly lucky in the first race, getting through the mix, and now the last one. Luckily, we top 3 managed to pull away from the rest of the pack and enjoyed the conditions. With the mix with a local, so that's a good thing, I guess.
Very quickly, Ollie was a bit far down the order, so just need to bring it home now because you pretty much got the championship.
Yes, I did want to race him at some point in this year, championship. Yeah. I was a little bit disappointed, but hopefully I actually get to see him in the final. He comes through and we can have a bit of a scrap and battle.
Hopefully you can have a good battle, Karlis.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Barry, that race looked really, really tough with the changing conditions.
It was very tough. I mean, coming down the kind of main straight on the first lap, and I don't think everyone realised how little grip there was, and there's a couple kind of went out really wide, but then Tommy just checked out, and he's quick round here anyway in any condition, and I generally tend to like the wet, but it's one of those where it's a little mix and you don't quite know where the grip is, so I ended up I think probably taking the wet line too long during the race, when it was probably gripping up a little earlier on, and then I realised once, I don't know the chap's name that overtook me, I was like, right, I've got a reference point now, so I can see that it's a bit grippier and I should be probably taking the proper racing line. But it was a challenging one, was that.
We're joined by Jonathan Allen. Jonathan, you started the race from, I think, down in 13?
Yeah, second last.
And you came back to 4th in the wet. What is it they say about the wet conditions?
Well, it just separates the better drivers from the not so good drivers, to be honest, but like I say, I'm very confident in the wet. I love the wet conditions, changing conditions. It's my cup of tea and I just love thriving in them, really.
How tricky was it? Because it pretty much started raining as you guys exited the pit lane and started the race.
Oh, it was like that transition between dry and wet, halfway through the race where you started to get grip on the dry line. It was so difficult, especially at the start. There was chaos going into the bottom of the straight and just trying to avoid it and coming through like Lightning McQueen. It was a challenging race, but a good one for me.
And then the final 5 laps decided to dry up.
Yeah.
How much were you pushing? Because you were catching up to Karlis and Barry, and how much did you want to risk?
I mean, I took a bit of a lunge on him. I know there was a little bit of contact, but I just didn't want to risk anything. I'd made myself up to 4th position, and I just, I don't want to go back down the order after I've had such a good race, so I'm happy with 4th, definitely.
Well, absolutely fantastic result, Jonathan, and best of luck for your final race.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.